What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Ever Adaptive Podcast. I'm your host, Becky Flowers, along with my two co-hosts over here, Sarah Budson and Toby.
And Toby.
He's so cute. I love his collar.
He's the best. He's just doing whatever he wants. Toby's world, I just live in it.
Honestly,
King of the castle.
he is.
He
But
really, really is. Really quick, I just wanted to do a quick boob update.
yeah,
Too, because so tomorrow I'll be 3 weeks post-op. I
it
know.
feels so
It
much longer.
flew by. It flew by. Um, if you said it feels longer.
It does. Like, I feel like it's just like, this is just you. You've existed with them.
It's starting to feel that way, like until I like realize they're there, I think. Like before, I was very like conscious. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are new. And now they're there, but then I still am like, oh. But
Great.
prep has officially started because we're back. Like we are
Yeah.
back. So cardio's at 100%, steps are at 100%. Training is like I'm probably with like my strength, I'd say I'm probably about 90% there. I had my first upper body day, full upper body day on this past Friday, and everything moved so nicely. And I wasn't like limited at all. There was some like movements that just felt different, but not like in a bad way.
Okay.
So everything's going really, really great. So just turning it up and added in some more cardio. So we're gonna see where we land. I'm really
I'm
excited.
excited for this. So, where are you at with cardio? Are you like a morning cardio person or evening, or you just
I
used
need
to
to
it?
be a morning cardio person again because yesterday I was at the gym for what felt like 12 hours. The owner of RTB even came up to me and he's like, "Haven't you been here since like noon?" It was like 5:30. And
Holy
I was like,
shit.
no, I haven't. No, I didn't get there at noon. It felt like it, but I was there for like 2.5 hours between my lift, abs, and so I'm doing a half hour of cardio 7 days a week. So that's up from 6 days at 20 minutes. So
Okay.
a little bit of a bump. It's nothing too aggressive or anything like that. And even from the week prior to this past week, I dropped 2 pounds with adding in higher days again too, but with just cardio and training and steps being back in almost normal. So turn it up a little bit longer and see how things go.
Yeah. Chugging along. Good. Keep us updated. I want to keep hearing about it.
For sure.
I have zero updates of my life, so I
Your
guess,
hair's shorter.
huh? My hair is
Your hair's
shorter.
shorter.
I cut off, oh gosh, it was like this
A
much.
lot.
It was so dead, but I wanted to keep it during comp season because I don't want to put in extensions. I don't want to do any of that. So
Yeah.
it's healthier.
It looks
Um,
healthier.
it feels so much better, but I haven't
It
washed
looks
it yet.
lighter.
It looks lighter.
Yeah, like it just looked so heavy before.
It is, and I don't have like thick shafts of hair. I have a lot of hair. So it
Mm.
is really heavy and it's naturally curly. So we'll see. I have to wash it tonight for the first time, which is always the like, you get your hair cut and it's all perfect when they do it. And then you have to do it yourself. And you're like, fuck.
Yep,
So
that's literally where I am too, because I just got my hair done Thursday and I have to wash my hair tonight.
you're like, fuck, I don't want to do it.
So,
But
um, but on that note, why don't you dive us into our topic today?
yeah. So, guys, we are going to be talking about goal setting for 2024. And before you just scroll past, because everyone is talking about goal setting for 2024 right now, this is
We're
going
gonna
to
talk
come
about it in a
out.
different way.
We are. And I think this is how I'm approaching my goals for the year. Um, I think a lot of people, myself included, focus so much on what they are going to do for the year and they almost like get stuck in that. And it's almost analysis by paralysis, paralysis by analysis. And where you're just like, I don't know what I want to do. And then it's how you're going to do it. And some people say SMART goals, where it says smaller goals. Some people say dream, like huge goals, vision board, not vision board, whatever. So I've always been a person where I will make a vision board. I will set big, big goals, and then I will break them down. I will like write out all of the limiting beliefs that are coming up for my goals, all of those things. This year, I just don't have it in me. And I don't even have it in me to like make a post about the new year. So, doing some reflection, I am going into this year focused on how I want to feel in 2024. And that's peace, fulfillment, and those are my main ones right now. So then I'm going to break it down into what I need to do to facilitate peace in my life and to have fulfillment in my world. So that is going to be a lot of goal setting. That is like the traditional, but then it's also a lot of like spending time in the Bible, going to church more, praying more. So that's that's what we're going to be talking about today. All things goal setting, but kind of how we are approaching it.
Yeah, and I like this take on it because this is kind of more my style. Like I have never like been that person to like sit down and write my goals for the year or like make resolutions or like anything like that. I am very much like, okay, what have I learned from this past year and how can I apply that in the coming year?
I love
Um,
that.
and that's just kind of how I've always approached it in like, okay, so what's on my radar as far as like, yeah, things I want to accomplish, right? But never anything like super strict because as I know, as we know, like things are always ever changing. Like you can have this vision or this path of where you think you're going, where you think you're going or how you think things are going to play out, but like that shit can change. And it happens a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't like being blindsided when that happens. I like being able to kind of look at it in more of an open-minded way and be like, okay, so what have I learned through my experiences of this past year? And how can I apply that moving forward with, yes, these are things that I want to accomplish or things like that, but nothing's set in stone. And how do I apply that mindset in whatever's being thrown my way? Because there's a lot of shit that's probably going to be thrown my way it's unforeseen, right?
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea of taking what you learned from this last year and how can you apply it to next year. And it's almost even more, I know some people will do like a word for the coming year, but it's even more adaptive than that because if you have a word going into the year, like you said, life's going to throw so much at you that can completely like blindside you and throw that word out the window. But
Mhm.
look, taking your past lessons and then how can you apply it and how can you continue to learn on those things? I really like that.
Yeah, that's just kind of how I've always been. And I do know that I probably need to be a little bit better about like actually writing down some certain goals and like milestones I want to hit within, business, within relationships, within, my faith, things like that. Um, And that's something that I will apply because I do think that I sometimes allow myself to be too lax with it because there are so many things that can change and I'm just like I don't like I said I don't like being blindsided. I like to like I've kind of said in the past, put myself in situations, excuse you. Put myself in situations where I it builds up the can you hear that?
Mm-mm.
Scratching his little thing. I
Oh no,
don't know
you're
how
good.
loud it is.
You're good.
Um, I like to put myself in situations that I'm trying to think of how I want to word this, that armor me to be ready for anything, right?
Okay.
Kind of like how I've talked about in the past, where it's like I project myself into certain situations or life changes or things like that that are uncomfortable and are, out of the norm to experience it and gain experience from it and learn more about myself and how I handle things. And I think that's just how I'm always thinking, because I would rather be ready for the unforeseen than something completely blindside me and me be like, I don't know what to do, right?
So I'm the same way, but as you're saying that, do you think that that's just us trying to control the inevitable?
I don't think so, because I know that the inevitable is going to happen. I would rather just be more prepared for it, not necessarily control it, but I can control myself, right? I can control
Yeah.
how I respond. I can't control things that are out of my control, but I can control my response and how I move forward in whatever situation scenario that is thrown my way. So it's more of a, I think it's more of like a precautionary, just being ready for whatever happens, because I know I have that belief in myself and my work ethic and my morals and my, everything to get through whatever comes my way. But I also have had to build myself up to be that person.
Got it. I like that distinction that it's not trying to control the situation, because that's honestly where my brain goes first, is how can I control the situation? But it's controlling yourself within the situation.
For sure. It goes back to what have I had been saying for a long time now, right? Things are going to happen in life, good, bad, indifferent. But if you just view them as things and all you do is it's how you respond that matters, that's what matters. You know, shit's going to happen regardless, no matter what. You just had a bug.
I
I
do.
had a bug last week.
Like, where is this coming from?
It's like the middle of fucking winter.
I know. It's like 50 degrees out though. Like,
Is
please
it? Oh
no.
my gosh.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
here like 2 days ago, and then it was freezing yesterday, and it's freezing today and snowing. Well, yesterday was snowy, but anyway, back to our point. Good things are gonna happen, bad things are gonna happen. I don't like to label them as such anymore. They're just things that are inevitably gonna happen. It's how you move forward and how you proceed that dictates how it's gonna end up.
I love that. All right. So, us going into 2024, let's talk about like kind of what we're going to be doing
Like
practically.
cat hair all over my face, guys.
We're just
Sorry.
AP today. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But like just a little bit, because this is going to be coming out the Wednesday before the New Year's. So New Year's is what, that Sunday? That's New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Um, so like what are some things that you're doing just kind of like prepping your brain and your heart for it's so crazy. Like the new year is so crazy to me because it's like we do the same thing. It's literally just another day. Um,
See, that's the thing is like I don't really like it's just like a measuring point for me.
yeah.
I don't think about it as like this, like, oh, it's a new year, like, oh, like time to, kick it up a notch. Like, no, like just like in bodybuilding, right? It's like I think of it as the same way I think of like starting prep. Like I was in a bulk and I was still on a regimented meal plan, regimented cardio, regimented training. Everything, all my variables are the same. They're just very slightly changing. Like now
Yeah.
that I'm in prep, like there's nothing different. Like, and I that's why like the new year isn't that big of a deal to me. I use it as like a milestone, like a measuring mark to be like, oh wow, I experienced a lot of shit this last year, right? But like I can even take that into, well, that even happened since like April or the end of July. Like there are so many different measuring points that it's like the new year is just another day for me. It's like I don't think about it in this way of like these, oh, I'll start in the new year after the
Yeah.
holidays. And like that's just, it's not ever how I've really thought about it. And that's why I don't think that I make these like big goals or anything like that, because I more so just reflect on where I've been and then where I'm going moving forward.
Yeah. Honestly, that's where I am too. I used to be a very big like new year, w- like gonna do everything different. And I can tell you, I did nothing different. So until I actually changed my like day-to-day habits,
Mhm.
that's when everything started changing. And I I'm the same way. But if you're not, if you are somebody that does like the new year, and one, it's not a bad thing, like you do you. But then two, I think just focusing on some like just little minuscule habits that you can implement right now that are just going to carry you forward and just make you a better feeling human, better human, that you're just more productive in whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Because it's just all it is stacked habits, right?
Yeah.
These stacked habits that build a momentum in however way you want that to look.
Yeah. Yeah. So personally, what I'm doing is I'm figuring out, okay, how I want to feel, how I want to show up. And honestly, that's starting right now. So today we're
Mhm.
recording this on the 19th. It's starting right now. I already have it written out of what I'm doing every single day. Um, and that's what I would suggest if you want to try to move forward with writing some things down for the new year and how you want to show up. Just start
Start now.
today. Yeah.
Start now. There doesn't need to be a, oh, well, start on this date. Like all that is doing is giving yourself an excuse to continue your current behaviors.
And you might actually ramp up your current behaviors because you have that date of, okay, I'm going to stop this
Oh
then.
shit, I only have this much time left.
Exactly. And you might actually end up fucking yourself over even more.
Mhm.
So pull up your notes app, pull out a notebook, and just write down how you want to feel. And then write down what you're going to do to feel like that. So if it's something that you know that you are just kind of going through the motions and existing, and you're waking up tired and you're going to bed tired and you are getting complacent in everything, even if you are a bodybuilder, we get complacent in our daily tasks. So
Yeah.
focus on
And
sleep.
this, yeah, and this is something that I am gonna do because like I'm pretty sure you asked me like 10 minutes ago if I'm a morning cardio person and I never answered it. Like what the fuck?
I don't even know what we started talking about.
I don't even, it's like squirrel brain. Anyway, um, now that prep is in, oh, that's why I went off on that tangent and then it completely got lost. Because I waited and then I did my cardio after I trained and I on my training days, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do both. So like on my rest days, I'll do cardio later, but on my training days, I want to get back to fasted. Like for sure want to get back to fasted because I know it's hard to make that switch going from not doing fasted cardio to doing fasted cardio again. But I know that I always feel so much better and my morning starts off so much more energetic and productive when I have fasted cardio in.
Yeah.
So I am going to hold myself to that. And that is something that I am going to write down and keep myself accountable for in my daily planner, things like that, because yesterday, 2.5, 3 hours at the gym was not it.
No. So,
And then I
okay.
got stuck in rush hour traffic on the way home.
And Michigan traffic is awful. Detroit traffic is awful. Um, this freaking bug. But on that note, so you're writing down fasted cardio is something that you want to do. What is something that you're going to like implement in your day-to-day routine that's gonna make sure that you actually show up for that.
It's just doing it, like, not allowing my like, there's I have a hard time with this. These actionable things to like implement in the meantime to make sure. But like obviously I have my checklist every day that I do that we've talked about. So like every morning I schedule out my day. And I honestly I started just over this past week, I started doing that a little bit at night for like while I'm thinking about the next day, like, oh, these are things that I have to take care of, writing them out at night instead of waiting until the next morning to do it. So that A, I have a little bit more of a look of what my next day is going to look like. But B, I don't have that time in the morning of, oh, I'm going to sit here and drink my coffee and write out my schedule when I could already be doing cardio.
Yeah. I think that's an action item, like writing your to-do list the night before. One thing I was thinking that I have to get better at, I kind of been complacent, is giving myself a bedtime and a wake up time and staying within that time.
Yeah. And I'll mirror that. That's for sure something that I need to get better at. And sleep has always been harder for me, within the last year. Like my sleep has been from anywhere from really good to absolute dog shit and waking up once an hour, right? Like you
Yeah, like
remember I was like
vampire
freaking
hours.
zombie when that would happen. And I know that like when I am mentally unsettled, my sleep is the first thing to go. And sleep has been really, really good lately. Honestly, even getting better. I slept for 8 hours last night.
Holy shit.
I know.
That's like
Um,
monumental.
I know. And like now that I am like I have a better look at what my competing timeline looks like, I know that I need to stick to that.
Yeah.
And you and I talked about this. We're probably going to do a whole sleep episode soon
Yeah, so we won't go into
because we want to get further into that and just things that we have done to help optimize our sleep and our sleep schedules and things like that. But this is definitely something that I also need to get better, especially while I'm in prep, because I know that it's just going to get worse as prep goes on. So if I get my ducks in a row now while I am normal at a homeostasis, I'll see if I can just hold on to that for as long as I can throughout prep. So
yeah.
I know it's only going to benefit me. I know it's only going to benefit my physique and my mind and everything and my energy day to day, my gym performance, literally everything obviously stems off of your sleep. So that is something that I am working on. Now that my sleep is just in a good place of actually being able to sleep, now I am okay, gonna be more strict with bed no later than this time, up no later than this time, and give myself that at least 7 hours of sleep so that my body can recover from everything.
Everything. Yeah. And I think one important thing that you said in there that we should hit on is when you are implementing anything that you want to make a small habit or anything like that, make sure your mental's on point too. Like you got to work on that too. Damn. I feel like it's our first episode again. Where I'm like finding a bug.
Agreed. Yeah, because that is my number one. This is the first thing to go whenever my mental's not in a good spot. And I know that when I get my mental to a good place, my sleep falls in line with that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that boils down to you, right? Like,
You as a
no one,
human.
yeah, like no one can control how you are feeling in your mental. You is your responsibility to make sure that your mental is in a good spot so that all of these other factors can fall into place.
Yup.
And that's a big realization. It's um what was it? I think your coach just posted something the other day and it fell right in line with it. He did a question box and he's like, all these people want to ask all these hormone questions without actually realizing that like it starts with you. Like you are the reason why your hormones are fucked.
Yup.
Like, and people ask me all the time, well, like, how can I help improve this? I'm like, stop being stressed out. Oh, well, that's easier said than done. Yeah, I know, but guess what? It's work and it boils down to you. Like, what's your threshold? Increase your threshold for stress.
That's act that's
Stress is not going to
literally what it
stop.
is. That I was just gonna say that. Stress is not going away. I say that
Mhm.
to my clients all the time. Stress isn't going away. Yeah, we can work things out and we can put better boundaries around that, but it's not gonna go away. It's what are you doing to help yourself manage it?
Mhm.
And what are you doing in your freaking brain to help you manage it? It's not
Yeah.
like we can
And
implement all these things like journaling and all that shit, but if you're not dealing with the shit that's in your head, like, come on, guys.
yeah.
And it
And
sucks.
sometimes that means getting help, going to
Mhm.
therapy, talking it out. You have to figure out what works for you because that's where it all stems from. And there's no outside fix. Like you can try throwing a band-aid at it left and right. The problem's still there. And it starts with you and your will to fix it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that falls right in line with fixing your mental so that your sleep is better. I'm talking to myself here. So
No, that's same here. And I mean, fixing your mental so that you can actually think about where you want to be in the future. It's really hard to dial in on what you want to do in the future when up here is just a mess. And I'm speaking to myself. So
we just love calling ourselves out.
we do. Honestly, though, there's power in that because I feel like in the world of social media, if you don't call yourself out, someone else is. And like,
It's just a
here's my
self-awareness
shit.
piece. Yeah, it's a self-awareness piece. Like we know
Yeah.
where we're at. And I have no shame in exposing my weaknesses because it's an accountability thing for me too. And be like, shit, this is where I'm at. And these are areas that I need to improve on. And I'm like, all right, let's do it, you know?
Yep. Yep. We said it. So let's do it. Um, all right. So anything else with the new year? I really want to drive home. Like it is just another day, guys. And
Mhm.
if you are constantly waiting for a new milestone, a new year, the start of prep, my off season. Well, I'm not prepping this year, so I'm gonna go balls to the wall and just fuck everything. Whatever it is, like you are gonna stay stuck. You are gonna stay stuck. Your relationships are probably gonna suck. Your mental is gonna suck. All of those things. So you are in control, and it is just showing up day after day for the things that you know are gonna move you forward and make you
Mhm.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just showing up and starting now. Like
Mm.
those goals and things that you have in mind for the future, like prolonging them until January 1st is not gonna do you any justice because either like you said, like you're gonna scramble or you'll excuse yourself now to be even more off the rails or whatever. Just hold yourself accountable. Show up for yourself. Because guess what? Ultimately, you're letting yourself down if you're not.
Yeah. And you're letting the people that you want to bring into your life down or the people that are in your life down. I always think of like my kids when it's that, like I let myself down, whatever, but like if I let my kids down, that's huge. And even if you don't have kids, like if you're not building yourself into a decent human now, like you're letting your future kids down because you'll probably pick
Or
a
people that
shitty
are
partner.
or just people that are watching or people that
Yeah.
like I have talked about with you, become the person that you want to attract those like-minded people in your life, right? So if you're not doing your best to become the best you're letting, yes, yourself down, but also the people that you want in your life down as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. All right. On that note, happy new year.
Happy New Year. Just another fucking day. Another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise. And we will see you guys on the 3rd, 3 days
2020
into the new year.
2024.
Here we go. All right. You have a
Thank
good
you guys
day.
for joining. We're gonna get better about posting reels and stuff again.
She's calling me out.
No, I'm
Man,
calling myself out because I need to learn how to do it and I need to devote some time to it as well. You have plenty going on. This is just as much as my fault too.
you know what though? I do want to throw out there if someone is like really good at clipping these reels and they would like to give some like unsolicited advice, I would love to hear it because I was walking Sarah through how I do it, and it's probably the most complicated, ridiculous like thing that I do, but it works for me. So if you have any advice, we are all ears. And on that note, Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you as always for joining us.
We'll see you later.